Hey everyone, hope you're well. Let me get you a quick message here. Okay, I appreciate you guys getting logged in here quickly. I'm going to go ahead and start promoting you. Let's see. Oh, good. Ashley, good to see you, buddy. Oh, hang on one second. Let me Ashley, can you hear me okay?
I got you, no problem. Yeah.
There you go. Now I can hear you. Okay, good. I'm going to get these folks promoted to panelist here. And we'll get started. So usually it just takes a minute. And we probably will have a pretty good turnout tonight, partly because of the subject. And also we kind of push it a little bit more than we normally do. So in fact, we'll likely have some guests like Susan Seeds. Susan's good to see you. A long time no see. Lots of team members. Rose, good to see you. I'm glad you made it. Good. Michael O'Keefe. Melanie, good to see you. Liz, Kevin. We got several guests, and there's going to be several people out from the team because of the conference in Vegas. And I'll be flying out early in the morning. So Gina, I'm going to go ahead and make you a co-host if you wouldn't mind, and then have you go ahead and finish the promotions. Okay, Gina, you should be a co-host now.
All right, I'll run with it.
Yeah. Okay. Hey guys, we've got a good session tonight. We're going to get started in a few minutes. We usually give people a few extra minutes to to log in. You know how real estate people are, right? 7 a.m. means anytime between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m., you know, and of course it's PM. Of course, if I got the time right, you'd probably have more people, right? If I could determine the difference between AM and PM. So in any case, hey, while we're waiting on everybody, just a couple of heads up. The book, The Global Investor Agent, is officially out in production on Amazon. Sales are already pretty good. It's actually already outsold the prior 7 books that I've written. So how about that?
What, really? That's crazy.
I knew it was a winner. I mean, as soon as the idea came up, and this was before we really had any rate hikes, and I kind of had a feeling what was going to happen. I'm sure some of you remember back in January and probably again in March. Sorry. And I was talking about the economy and just, turn off the TV, focus on the data. And it's a movie we've all seen before. So his book couldn't be any more timely, just unbelievable. Thank you, Lord, because every now and then we get a lucky break in these things. And this one's is definitely one of them. So we got a lot more to do. We also got approved for it to be on Audible, which is kind of a big deal. So it's going to be in print and in Audible. The sponsors, the endorsers, and some of them are top level people have all agreed to promote it. And we haven't even really started. We just started just you guys are the only ones we've sent anything out to so far. So if you could do your part as a Global Investor Agent team member, get yourself a copy, do your part for the team, but more importantly, after the shipping and handling, we don't control that. Amazon controls that. All profits go to the Healing House Foundation. So you can do your part to serve the community, but really it's all about spreading the word, serving others, and leave a review is really important. We only have a couple of reviews out there, and we've got to get to 100 reviews like quickly to take advantage of the sales. Otherwise, the algorithms don't work in your favor. So yeah, you got to leave reviews. Everybody make sure to leave a review. That helps get a lot of juice, and it shouldn't be hard. We have 100 people on the team. So theoretically 100 reviews should be easy. Any case, enough of that. We got a great guest tonight, Ashley Tison, all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina. And we met each other a few weeks back on a podcast interview. And I thought this is definitely going to we've got to have this on class, and I Ashley graciously agreed to teach. So Ashley, welcome aboard, man. I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me on, Gary. It's a pleasure to be back talking to you and to see your team out here and to see what we could do about expanding their horizons and with opportunity zones.
That's it. And I'm going to lead things off. You know, I'm a huge sports fan, guys. So Ashley's played some basketball in his past, and we were talking about, you know, what state claims the honor of being the number one state of basketball? Is it Indiana or North Carolina? And Ashley, I'm kind of making this stuff mad a little bit, but it turns out Ashley can say yes because he has roots in both states. How about that, man? So, hey, Ashley, this is a kind of an open forum. It's just like a classroom. We try to keep it engaged, interactive. So the agents and investors are on tonight too. We'll definitely be asking some questions, and between Gina and I, we'll get them fielded. We'll look for strategic breaks in the action, and usually at the end, it'll go on a little bit longer. So you've got a good lively group here. So if you want to, do you have a screen to share? Anything I can do to help you out, or how do you want to get started here?
So the way that I typically do it is I usually kind of jump in from my deal on here where I can show this. Can everybody see that? Okay.
I can, let me, I've got the panel view.
If you want me to go into this, I can, and then you just got to double click on my Hollywood Square.
You know what we'll do? Yeah, I'm going to make
speaker. Let me see if I can make him speaker.
Yeah, we're going to make you co-host and or speaker, Ashley, and that way everybody watching will be full screen for them, other than, because right now it's a panel view.
Yep.
So
okay. So
there we go.
All right, look at that. Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I think that we could kind of double this in to where it pulls me up into the right corner.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. So what are opportunity zones? What is one and where are they? So the first thing is that opportunity zones were created by the Tax Cut and Jobs Act of 2017. And each governor got to designate up to 25% of their low income census tracts as opportunity zones, where if somebody has capital gains, they can obtain effectively 3 benefits. The first is they get to defer the capital gains from whatever sale, from the sale of whatever it is that they're exiting. That could be appreciated property, that could be a business, that could be Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, gold, appreciated baseball cards. Anything that's got a capital gain is eligible for the temporary deferral by putting the capital gain from the investor into a qualified opportunity fund within 180 days. And so when you do that, you get to defer that gain until December 31st of 2026. And then their second benefit was that if you were invested prior to 2021, you got a 10% step up in basis. If you were invested prior to 2019, you got a 15% step up in basis. But this benefit went away as of 2021, which there's currently pending legislation that'll bring it back to the table where this will actually be back in play for anybody that makes an investment prior to the expiration of 2023. And so if these were, not good enough, right? Who doesn't love effectively a negative interest loan from the government, right? Which is what you're getting here. The key one and the key benefit is that after a 10-year hold, you get a step up in basis to fair market value. And so that's big because it not only eliminates capital gains, right? But it also eliminates depreciation recapture. And that's the significant piece about this legislation, right? Is that it effectively allows you to defer taxes on whatever it is you're selling, right? And then you get to roll it into a qualified opportunity fund. And then, when you're done with your 10-year hold on that investment, you're going to get a permanent exclusion on the taxes via step up in basis to fair market value. So it becomes really powerful, particularly if you're in you have the ability to kind of run down deals in opportunity zones. This program becomes extremely powerful. Mm-hmm. And so what Gary wanted me to do is to kind of give an overview, right, about kind of the benefits, what they are, what you have to do relative to take advantage of them, right? Namely that you got to get your capital gain into a qualified opportunity fund. which is fairly easy. It's literally just an LLC taxed as a partnership. And then that qualified opportunity fund can either invest directly into qualified opportunity zone business property, or it can invest through what we call a qualified opportunity zone business, which once again is just an LLC taxed as a partnership. And so when you do this, right? So once you drop your cash into the qualified opportunity zone business and you go and you buy property with that qualified opportunity zone business, that property needs to be tangible property used in a trade or business, acquired from an unrelated seller after December 31st, 2017, or by lease, and the original use or substantial improvement happens in an opportunity zone. So that original use test, right, is basically applicable that if you have, if you haven't put something in service, right, which means that you haven't depreciated it, you haven't rented it, and you're as close as possible to the certificate of occupancy, you can qualify that property as original use, which basically means that it's new. And the really significant part about this is that if you have any brokers or if you have any clients, or if you know of projects that are in an opportunity zone, you can actually sell these as new prior to them getting the certificate of occupancy. So if somebody's doing a ground up construction on some townhouses,
Yeah, actually, if you can hear me, looks like you're froze on your end. But this happens, so don't worry, we'll get through it. Everybody else okay on your end, internet wise? Okay, good. I'm gonna ask you to do an example too. Because I think that would really help further emphasize the power behind this. I mean, delaying capital gains and ultimately the permanent deferral after 10 years, that's amazing.
Yes.
Holy smokes. It's better than a 1031 exchange, because 1031 exchange is going to have to log back in. 1031 exchange, you literally, you're just deferring the payment, but you don't get this 10-year, after this 10-year period, you don't get to do the automatic step up in the basis. That doesn't happen. This is only in this investment. But also I want to find out more about, it sounds like you can get a property now, the 180-day requirement, that's the same as a 1031 exchange. The thing I saw Ashley talk about though is invest in the opportunity zone business. So if there's somebody else running like a mutual fund or like a syndication, right, where they're the ones out there actively buying the properties, and you simply provide funding for that entity. It sounds like what he was alluding to. We definitely need to clarify that, because that could be a big deal.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yep. So, hey guys, while we're waiting, I wanted to say hi to all the guests too, by the way. I apologize, I normally do that and it slipped my mind, but thanks you guys for showing up. And also welcome aboard to all the new guys. We got several of them: Greg, Kurt, let's see, Eric. I think we've already welcomed Sally and Cass. Good to see you. Oh, Cass, that's right. You're a guest. Good to see you from beautiful Cleveland. Just talked to Darren Mancuso, and he's in our leadership group. Yep, just talked to him today up there about building and so forth. Let's see, who else we got here? Susan Seeds, good to see you, a long time. Rosa James, also glad you guys are here. Let's see. Oh, Renee's on, and Renee, hey Renee, did you get the email today from
I did.
Sugar? Okay, excellent. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I will be traveling tomorrow to the conference, but you can still reach me by phone or just get a hold of Sugar,
Well done. Thank you.
Yep. Hey Naomi, set up a call with me. I saw that you sign up through the older traditional method of the training program, but there's a lot more to that. So set up a call with me so we can go over all that. And welcome aboard, by the way. Craig from Colorado, good to see you, buddy. I know I need to get back to you. I'll be doing that in the next day or so about the brewery, Craig. So let's see. I think I got everybody covered. If I didn't miss it, oh, there's another guest. Karen, good to see you. So if I missed you guys, it's only because I'm losing ability as I just turned 39 and things are really just starting to go south. I don't know how to explain it to you, but you know.
Well, happy belated birthday. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
There you go. No, just kidding. Yeah, that's three months ago and I hit a big milestone. So that's all right. All right, let me I wonder if he had like I mean, that was sudden, like it stopped but I'm gonna see if I can get him via text. Hang on one
He's
second.
not, yeah, he's not popping in at all. Just heads up.
Yeah, he's trying to get in. I see him.
I'm here right now.
Is he? Oh, there you
There
are.
we go. Yay.
Yeah, sorry guys. I literally I was sitting there talking and then boom, everything went dark. Literally our power went out.
Yeah.
So my apologies. You
That's
gotta
okay.
love technology.
Yeah.
That's literally never happened to me and then just gone to.
Now we
So-
call them alien abductions.
Yep.
That's what happens. Alien abduction, you know.
Okay, so well, I guess that's actually a good place to stop for questions for stuff
Yeah.
thus far, right? Is
Yeah.
and what I want to do, and I want to make sure and kind of keep this interactive, is that I've got a 88-page slide deck, and I certainly don't want to go through 88 pages of slides, and go through it without kind of knowing generally where our audience is at relative to this and where their biggest interest might be. And so I thought I'd open it up to questions and then maybe kind of find out what people want to hear about with respect to opportunity zones. And then I can specifically jump in and hit those questions.
Yeah. Thank you very much too, by the way. If you could provide, even if it's a fictitious example, just a real basic, so like somebody sells a
Yep.
$100,000 barbershop and
Perfect.
then they buy another property, an opportunity zone, like they're kind of stepping through that first action and then 10
Yep.
years later with real
Sure.
numbers that would, and then the terms too, there's some acronyms that I can't even, some are 3 or 4 or 5 character.
QOF and QOZB and
There
stuff
you
like
go.
that. And I talk about it all the time. So I'm like, who doesn't know what a QOZB is or what QOZBP
Yeah.
is, right?
like-
And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm terrible with that. So that's awesome.
Okay.
All right, so let's walk through. And is it okay? Can you guys see this? Can you see it okay? Or is it better if I go with this one? I think it might be better with that one.
That's better. Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird because I don't know what's going on with the with my fuzziness, but I don't know. It's like I got some issue going on with my video processor or something. But let's just say that let's say that somebody has $1 million. They bought something for $100,000 pre-COVID. So they actually bought that that beach house that I was looking at down in North Litchfield, that I was looking at in 2019, and I was looking at paying $300,000 for it, and now it's worth 1.3. And so they've got a $300,000 basis, and they're able to sell it for 1.3 million, and it's going to generate $1 million in capital gain. Okay. And even if that capital gain was short term, so all you resident flippers out there, right, that are looking at short term capital gains, this is your bag, because you could take that short term capital gain and you could put it into a qualified opportunity fund. So I go out and I set up a LLC. It's taxed as a partnership. I drop that $1 million in within 180 days of the sale, right? And what's really interesting is that if it came through, right, so if I owned that property through a partnership, right, so I bought that with my my dad, and I'm getting that $1 million capital gain reported on a K1. I actually have until September 15th of the following year to roll that into the QOF. And so what it allows us to do is to go back and grab stuff from the beginning of the year. So if any of your clients had a gain in 2022 that's coming off of a partnership, we've got till September of next year to be able to invest that. And so it becomes a really compelling answer when people are staring down the barrel of those estimated taxes, in January of next year. And I saw a question from Kay about how do we set up a qualified opportunity fund? Well, you could do it yourself because it's literally just an LLC taxed as a partnership. There's some nuances to it, right? You need language in your operating agreement and language in your organizing documents. So you could go to the Tax Cut and Jobs Act and pull that language, or you can just call us at ozpros.com. We set them up. We set up a QOF and a QOZB package, right, with all of your ancillary documents and everything like that. And we normally charge $7,500, but for anybody that would be coming out of the this master class, we will keep you grandfathered in at our $6,000 pricing. So that's the easy answer on it. There's a little bit more complexity to it, you know, if you want to do it on your own, but you certainly could, right? It's not rocket science, but we've just been, I mean, we've set up over 1,200 of them. So, you know, we got it down pretty good. So you put that $1 million into the QOF and you're going to defer. So normally you would pay $238,000 in capital gains taxes. So it's 20% plus the 3.8% net investment income tax. So instead of paying that 238 now, right, which would effectively give you $762,000 to invest, you're going to defer that $238,000 until December 31st of 2026, right? So you're going to pay that tax in 2027 instead of you know, next year in 2023. So that's the first deal, right? If the legislation goes through that we think that it's going to, then instead of paying $238,000 on 12/31 of 2026, you pay 15% less, which would be $214,000. So effectively, what you're able to do is instead of $762,000 going into your investment, you're putting a full $1 million in. So it's an interest-free loan from the government. If we get the legislation through, it becomes a negative interest loan from the government because you're paying less money by doing this deal, right? So that's the first benefit. So then you're a smart, you know, opportunity zone funder, and man, Kay's got all kind of questions. Yeah, it absolutely can be set up after the sale. It's not 1031. So I'll go through some of that too, like the difference between this and 1031. It's a beautiful thing is that it can completely be set up after the sale. You don't have to segregate proceeds. The proceeds can come from anywhere. If you wanted to, you could go and borrow the money from your 401k. You could borrow it against your stock portfolio, whatever, right? It's as long as you are going to defer the amount of the capital gain. That's another question I get a lot is, do we just have to defer the taxes? No. What you have to do is you have to defer however much of the gain you don't want to pay taxes on. So in this case, if you got $1 million gain, you put the full $1 million if you want to defer it all, and you put that full $1 million into the QOF. Now, we got some smart folks in here, so we're going to set up a QOZB because, and a QOZB stands for Qualified Opportunity Zone Business, right? And literally all it is once again, it's just an LLC set up as a partnership that raises its hand and says, hey, I want to do opportunity zone deals. That then becomes a qualified opportunity zone business as soon as it receives capital from a qualified opportunity fund. So we put all $1 million down here to the QOZB, and then we go out and we find a piece of property that is conducive to multifamily, right? Or whatever. We're going to put fourplexes on it. I don't really care what you're going to need. You might put an RV park on it. There's all kinds of things you can do in the zone.
Okay.
But you take that $1 million and you lever it up, right? So with your $1 million, you're going to be able to put that down as 20%, and you're going to be able to borrow what, $5 million bucks. So you bring in a bank loan of $5 million, right? So you have an aggregate project cost of $6 million down here in your apartments / multifamily / whatever. You hold this for 10 years, and right in, you know, we're anticipating that it probably is going to go up more than this, but let's just say it doubles in value. So in 10 years, it's now worth $12 million.
Mhm.
Well, you sell it for the $12 million. $12 million is going to come up, to your QOZB and then ultimately to your QOF. You're going to make an election to step up the basis to fair market value. Now, your original basis was $6 million, but you get the ability to elect to step up the basis now to $12 million, which means that when you distribute now this $12 million, $6 million is basis and $6 million is gain, you're able to not pay taxes on any of it, right? So 0 taxes. Oh, hey, and by the way, that whole time when you were running this multifamily operation, you did a cost segregation study on it, and you're able to roughly bonus depreciate, let's say 40% of that, right, on your cost. And you're able to pull $2.4 million of depreciation out of it and use that $2.4 million to offset the income that was coming in off of it. Well, you're not going to pay any depreciation recapture when you sell after the 10 years either. And so what this allows somebody to do is to be able to effectively walk into tax-free money, right, via the depreciation via cost segregation, and then no back-end taxes after 10 years.
Okay. Hey guys, so what Ashley's talking about cost segregation is if you imagine you help somebody, buy an apartment building, could be 20 units, something not too crazy. In the apartment building, you're going to have the building itself, which is depreciated. Now it's all 27.5 years. Used to be, could be 41 years for commercial big properties and 27.5 for smaller residential. But in any case, buildings 27.5 years. You take essentially 3.1% each year as a phantom write-off. It's like the government gives you this paper write-off for the privilege of owning the property. It's like depreciation that doesn't really occur. A car depreciates, right? Carpeting, refrigerators depreciate, but a building theoretically always goes up in value. So now, having said that, the other things in the building, refrigerators, stoves, all those things are depreciated on a faster scale.
Floor coverings, HVAC, your roof, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yep. 5 years, 7-year depreciation. So it's a shorter period of time. So what we would do is we work with our investors and say, look, we're going to help you get a bigger tax break by cost segregating out, separating out those individual items, carpeting, draperies, all that depreciated faster. So those items you get to depreciate more quickly and you get the use of that money. Okay. Otherwise, what happens is people don't know about that. They depreciate everything in 27.5 years. They don't take advantage of those shorter depreciation schedules for what we call personal items, refrigerators and stoves, for example. So it's kind of a big deal. And if you can imagine, the bigger the property, the bigger the deal, and it's real money. It's money you get to use that you're using it because you don't have to pay it in taxes, So we use the term awesome sauce. That's
Yeah. So the reason why, to kind of carry on, to kind of break down the explanation of that, is that if you sell something prior to the depreciation schedule catching up, right? So let's say that you bonus depreciate out, and I'm just going to use your car as an example. So I'll use a really palpable example for me as I bought a Polaris Ranger to drive people around some property that I was working on to take investors out there. And I just happened to use it for hunting and running around with my kids and stuff like that too. Right. And so I was able to take the full $15,000 that I paid for that Polaris Ranger. And even though I financed most of it, I was able to write that full $15,000 off against my current income taxes when I bought it. And so I've held on to the Polaris for 5 years. And then I ultimately sold it on the back end. If I would have sold it in 4 years, right, what I would have ended up doing is I would have taken the proportion that hadn't yet caught up on that bonus depreciation schedule. So a vehicle's depreciable over 5 years. I would have taken 1/5 of that and I would have paid income taxes back on it because I used it to offset income taxes. So of that $14,000, I was like in the $30,000 tax bracket at the time. Let's just call it 15, right? So that's roughly $3,000 a year. I would have paid income taxes on $3,000, right? Because I sold it prior to it catching up.
Mhm.
Now, inside of a real estate deal, if you've got 15-year and you've got 10-year depreciation on your cost segregation study, and the CARES Act allows us to basically bonus depreciate anything that's on a 15-year or under schedule, and you take that bonus depreciation in the current year, if you haven't caught up on, it's called a MACRS, a modified accelerated cost recovery schedule. If you haven't caught up on the MACRS, you're going to end up paying income tax on that piece. And so that's why this is so significant, is because if you do it in an opportunity zone, you don't pay any of that depreciation recapture.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you go over some of the acronyms, the terms like QOF? I'm sure
Yeah,
that's
so-
yeah.
Yeah, a QOF is just a qualified opportunity fund, and once again, that is a it's an LLC that's taxed as a partnership.
Mhm.
So, you know, when you set up an LLC, you can have a single member LLC, which is a
Mhm.
disregarded entity, or you can have a multi-member LLC, which can be taxed as a partnership, or you can make an S corp election and you can elect it to be an S corporation. And so what in this case you would want to do is when you get your employer identification number, you would want to select a multi-member LLC, and then that's going to make it so that you're taxed as a partnership. And so a QOF, right? Think about it, a QOF, a qualified opportunity fund,
Mhm.
as a holding company. So this is your hold co. And then
Okay.
it can own property directly if it wants to, but there's lots of flexibility associated with dropping the money down into a qualified opportunity zone business, which once again is just a LLC taxed as a partnership, or
Okay.
it can be a corporation too. One of the things that you get is you get 31 months to spend your money in that case, instead of having to test every 6 months. And so a
Mhm.
qualified opportunity zone business is very helpful for purposes of being able to do business in an opportunity zone. So Karen asked, do you have to have a QOF to invest in the QOZB? And the answer is no. You can have a qualified opportunity zone business, but unless you invest through a QOF with capital gains money that goes into the QOZB, you're not going to get any tax benefit. So that's the one unfortunate thing about this legislation, is that they tied it to capital gains, which I'm not sure exactly why they did that. There's lots of thoughts about it. I think that they were trying to get money out of the stock market at the time. And so they wanted to force people to basically kind of convert it, right, in order to take advantage of it. And so so technically, Karen, you don't have to have a QOF in order to have a QOZB. But if you want to get the tax benefit out of the QOZB, then you would need a QOF in order to do that. And it's kind of like, why would you fool with a QOZB if you weren't going to get the tax benefits?
Mhm.
Now,
Hey,
go ahead.
yeah. So let's say, like for me, for example, I like to travel a bit, and I've done a lot of investing over the years, but it's usually me buying properties directly. And this comes along here. Could I passively? I don't know if that's a wrong term, because it means things differently legally than personally. But let's say I just don't have the bandwidth anymore to go find the opportunities. Can I invest in an existing qualified business?
Absolutely.
Just
So
provide my funds and not worry about the 180 days and all that stuff. Just whoever runs that's what they do. And
absolutely. And we've got
awesome.
tons of those, right? So
Yeah.
we've got a database of over like 1,200 qualified
Mhm.
opportunity funds. And they've got them doing everything. They're doing, we've got ones that have multifamily assets. We've got ones that are doing farmland. We got them that are doing single family rentals. We got them doing Airbnbs and hospitality assets. We got one that's focused on just like outside recreation in Colorado.
Mhm.
We've got a fund ourselves where we're investing in 5 hotels down in Puerto Rico, which is actually really cool, because every time I go down to Puerto Rico, that's a tax write-off.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, you could absolutely just invest into somebody else's fund. I'm also going to answer the question that you didn't ask, is that could I theoretically set up my own fund,
Mhm.
right? and then put my money into a fund to park it to buy myself some time because I hadn't figured out exactly what I want to do. I want to stop my 180-day clock. But
Mhm.
then, oh, well, I don't necessarily want to do my own QOZB. I want somebody else to manage it for me. And so our fund in Puerto Rico is specifically set up this way so that you can make an investment from your fund directly into a qualified opportunity zone business, our qualified opportunity zone business. We can also accept non-capital gains money into a qualified opportunity zone business. Now, those people won't get the tax benefit associated with the opportunity zone, but they will get the normal return that's going to happen, right? And in our
Mhm.
case, that's, you know, going to anticipated to be north of 20+% and a 4x multiplier. So you put $1 in, you're going to get $4 back after 10 years.
Yeah. Okay. So now if I invest in another fund, is it still pass through, or all the tax breaks in
Yeah,
deferred capital
absolutely.
gains pass through to me on a per? Okay.
Now,
Awesome.
it depends on how they've set it up, but most real estate funds are set up as pass-through entities. Absolutely. It doesn't make
Okay.
sense to hold appreciating property in a C corp.
Yep. Okay. All right. This is good stuff here. So,
Let's talk about, so I'll answer that question while you're teeing up your next one, Gary.
okay.
Is that it said our OZs basically everywhere. So this is a
Mhm.
map that shows where the opportunity zones are. And as you can see out west, like out in Montana, you got some really big ones. And the reason why they're larger out west and kind of more spread apart is just because of the population density. There's less population out there. And so when you get a zone, it gets bigger, right? Because you have, I think a census tract is comprised of 25,000 people. And so, 25,000 people in Montana is a huge area of, of land. And out east, right, they're way more dense. But there's 8,700 of them, and they're in every state and then
Mhm.
also in the territories. So pretty much the whole island of Puerto Rico is a opportunity zone because of Hurricane Maria. They actually got special dispensation to designate all of their low income census tracts as opportunity zones. And inside of the island of Puerto Rico, pretty much 98% of their census tracts are low income. And
Mhm.
so they literally, the whole island is one. If you want to find out, right? So you want to go and you want to search. I tell you what, why don't somebody throw me out an address or dump it into the chat and let's search it.
How about Craig? Craig, give him the brewery address if you don't mind. We've got a Craig's on a team. Actually, he's got a listing for a brewery out in Colorado Springs. It's an enterprise and an opportunity zone, both.
Let's check it out. What is it?
Let's see. He just posted it's Craig Cannon. Okay, Craig, are you live and active there? There he is. Oh, there it is. He just typed it in.
25 Payona Street.
Craig is probably thinking, Gary, I'm typing as fast as I can.
Yeah. All right. See, it's in the blue. So yeah, that's absolutely in an opportunity zone. And so what that means is that now it's interesting when you have an existing business that's in an opportunity zone about kind of some of the nuances to that, right? He said these designations were granted after he moved into the area. How would you pitch this property? Can he capitalize on any of the opportunity zone benefits? Sorry. So that's actually a great question. And it tees up a lot, right? So the value of him being in the opportunity zone is basically only going to help the buyer of his property because unfortunately, right, within the regs, what they gave us is that you've got to in order for it to be qualified opportunity zone business property, it has to be acquired after December 31st, 2017 by purchase from an unrelated seller or by lease. And so in order for, for anybody to take advantage of that, they would basically have to buy it from him, presuming that he bought it prior to 2017. If they bought it after 2017, a lot of times we can turn that into an unintentional QOZB and we can make it a QOZB after the fact if they bought the property in an LLC. in this case, it sounds like he was there prior to 2017. And so then it becomes a question of, okay, let's market this to the next buyer as an opportunity for them to take advantage of this. And so in that case, what they're going to have to do is it, and once again, we help people with this all the time. I'd be happy to serve as a resource for any of your clients that were, interested in investigating this. And we've talked about creating kind of a marketing flyer that explains this, right? So that has kind of a general overview about opportunity zones. I've got some slicker, kind of presentation components that have, the three main benefits of it. Actually, I'll show you down here in this pitch deck that we have. I think that we've incorporated that slide. So this is the fund that the deal that we invested in down in Puerto Rico, which is actually pretty cool. These are pictures of the hotel prior to Maria. But where is it? We got the investment thesis, management team, portfolio. I guess we stripped out the opportunity zone benefits out of this one, which is unfortunate because here we go. So you'd want to use like a slide like this in the marketing to show like your potential buyers how they could take advantage of this. And so then effectively, right? So and the question is what's an unrelated seller, right? Well, an unrelated seller is somebody that owns the property that's not related to the buyer by either direct family descent, so brother, sister, mother, that kind of thing, or they are not business partners. And so the business partner threshold is a 20% owner commonality. So what you can't do, unfortunately, is sell the property, right? So if your buyer or if your seller owns some property, and this happens all the time, right? And I can't believe that the regs outlawed this, but where they say, okay, hey, Mr. Opportunity Zone Fund, I'm going to sell you my property. And then I'm going to, you're going to pay me cash. And then what I want to do is I want to take that cash and I want to reinvest it into your fund. And I want to get a percentage of the fund. That happens all day long for development deals, right? People contribute the property in so they can get part of the vertical upside. Well, not in this case, not in opportunity zones. The IRS gave us a lot, but this is the one thing they took away. They said that's considered circular cash flow, and it's going to be considered a step transaction. And we're going to make it so that this money won't be qualifying and the land won't be qualifying either. And so in the instance of like a related party issue, right, you just need to make sure that if the person sells, right, and they're going to own a portion of the QOF going forward, right, that they put capital gains from somewhere else, right? So their capital gains came from another sale of a piece of property, and then they are less than 20% of the QOF, and then they can sell their property, right, that they own. They could sell that to the QZB at that point in time. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. Hey, by the way, I'll give you guys a quick plug on the brewery. So the brewery itself, the beer, it's Rocky Mountain Brewery. And Craig, correct me on the syntax, but I believe Dwayne won 3 championships in the world beer competition, not like state or United States, but the worldwide. So it's a thoroughbred winner, triple winner. And he's, without going a lot of detail, he's just moving on. He's not under stress. He's just moving on to a different chapter in his life. And this is an amazing opportunity. If you have clients out there, anybody looking for, let's face it, beer is going to sell no matter what the economy does. That's a fact, and this place has capacity, a lot more capacity than other breweries. And you can distribute all over the place. That to me, it's an amazing opportunity. And then you throw on top of it these tax benefits. I mean, I don't know if I actually know anybody that likes the brewery business. I know a few
Yeah,
people that
so-
own a couple.
Absolutely. So, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what one of the things that I'd love to get, right? And I could be a resource for is that if anybody's got a deal in an opportunity zone, particularly something that's an operating business
Mhm.
or something that's almost close to being finished, right? Or something that's a shovel ready project, absolutely send it to me. That's what my guys are looking for. They're looking
Okay.
for deals with existing cash flow. They're looking for deals that have minimum like entitlement / development risk, and or they're looking for operating businesses that has a real estate component. Now, Craig, send me the deck on this, and then we can see what we can do about helping you supplement it with some opportunity zone kind of information.
Well, the
Is
only
it-
thing I can see that comes up is they have an acre next door that he also owns.
That's beautiful, right?
The
and-
current building is on 10,500 square feet, and the typical tap room is about half of that size.
Yep. So,
That's really where it sits.
So a couple of things that actually are good about what you just told me. The first thing is that inside of your definition of, qualified opportunity zone business property, it's got to be original use or substantial improvement. So because you're buying an existing building there, in order to make the property itself qualify, is that you're going to have to substantially improve it. And what substantial improvement means is that, and I don't know, ballpark price, what's he asking for it?
With the brewery, with the
Yeah.
brewing equipment, 2.5.
2.5 million. So we got a $2.5 million purchase price, right? And we've got, what we would do is we would want to separate out the brewing equipment out of that,
Mhm.
right? And we could pull a lease or something on the brewing equipment. So let's just say that the brewing equipment's worth what, $500,000? Maybe $1 million?
300,000.
300,000. Let's just call it $500,000. So we're going to suck out 500K. So we now got $2 million for the building and the real estate. And so what we need to do is we need to find out how much the dirt itself is worth. So we need to find out how much the building is of that $2 million. Let's say that it's 50%, right? So the
Land is $5 to $7 a square foot, and it's an acre underneath.
So we got
About
43,000.
300,000.
Got $300,000. So 300K for both parcels, right?
No, for just the one.
Oh,
So
And-
because there's an acre next door.
okay. All right. And how much is he selling the acre next door for?
Right now, we're separating it out instead of just throwing it in on the deal, unless someone really wanted the property in combination.
And what's the list price on just the raw land?
That's the 5 to 7.
Of dollars. So it's going to be 300K too.
Yeah.
Okay. So along these lines, right? And this is the reason why I'm pointing out that he's probably going to want to at least advertise it being available, because this person, right, if it's only $300,000 for the dirt on there, and we're at $2 million, this building's going to be worth 1.7 million. And so whoever buys it, in order to make it work, would have to put in $1,700,001, right? Which is pretty stout. And so now they could do that in a couple different ways. They could add square footage, they could put solar on the roof, but where they'd probably really want to do it would be in effectively buying the both of them and then building another building next door to it. right?
Correct. There's people that want the land right now.
Yeah. So that would be your best bet. And that's how you would get to your substantial improvement. Now, inside of an opportunity zone deal, right? Inside of a qualified opportunity zone business, you got 5 tests, right? We talked about this 70% test. 50% of your gross income must come from a trade or business that's happening in the opportunity zone. I can expand upon that here in a second. You don't need to worry about this test unless you're a patent troll. And we could talk about this one too. You can't have a whole lot of cash or stocks, bonds, that kind of thing. So you can't set up a stock trading company in an opportunity zone and have that work. But this is actually, and it's funny that you brought up a brewery, because most people don't ever hit the sin business. But if you have off-premises alcohol sales and it's more than 5% of either your space or your dollar volume, you have to be very concerned about that. And that's not distribution, right? Or wholesaling. That's basically package sales. So depending on how many bottles they sell from the tasting room to carry away, then you just have to pay attention to that. And so you just got to be cognizant of that inside of the analysis.
Well, what's
And-
interesting, across the street is a strip joint.
well, there you go, right? So you can combine the two of them, right? And then what's funny is that strip joints actually are not sin businesses.
Oh,
But
Hmm.
I'll be damned, you don't want to have a freaking hot tub facility because that's a sin business.
or golf course.
Or a golf course, right?
Yeah.
And I kid around that this was a shot across, President Trump's bow, right? That this is the one dig that the Democrats got into the legislation because they made golf courses and tanning salons sin businesses, right?
Yeah.
But
That's funny.
it's funny is that this language basically came from the new market tax credit law, and in those, that's where these days were it's that's where they precluded these. So
Wow. So should Craig send you, I guess, I mean, obviously contact you separately tomorrow or something, but does this, I've spoken to the owner and I think he would probably be excited about the possibilities because of all this. I mean,
sure.
we're talking to buyers and everybody's comes from different backgrounds and has different ideas, but to me, the land and the building are one thing, but the potential with a brand name, like if he was willing to sell it, I don't want to go into the weeds too much on this, but the owner was really not going to be selling the business part of it because they hadn't done much in the last 2 years with the pandemic. But the brand name is awesome. Rocky Mountain Brewery. I mean, you say that anywhere in the world, people are even if they really haven't seen it before. The fact that it's got Rocky Mountain in there and brewery, instantaneous name recognition. I mean, that name, that right there has a lot of value. And the fact that they've won 3 international awards for their beer. I mean, that to me, that's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
That the land of the building is that's good, but that's I think a lot more potential if you throw everything else in there. I think so. Sorry to ramble there, but if you want to, Craig can give you his information or say however you guys want to communicate, because this probably has some potential.
So my email, and I can't believe I don't have my email on here. It's supposed to be down there in the bottom of it. Instead of Ashley Tison, ozpros.com, it should just say ashley@ozpros.com. That's my email address. So if you just want to bounce me an email, we can absolutely schedule time to chat and,
Okay.
and figure out how we can help.
Okay.
So Karen asked, what about deals that have government grants available? Yeah, so you can layer on those on top of the opportunity zone benefits. So LIHTC, affordable housing, naturally occurring workforce housing, and historic tax credits all are available to be, kind of coupled in. Another thing, and this is a huge boondoggle that's happening right now, is solar, right? So with the Inflation Reduction Act that just passed, they upped the solar credit to 30%, and then they basically made like it eligible that if it's in a low income area with American made products, you can get an extra 20%, sometimes up to like another 40% based upon like these different criteria. So opportunity zones automatically qualify for that extra 10% for it being in a low income area. And so, you're talking about a 40% investment tax credit on doing a solar deal, which becomes really powerful.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Okay. Let's check the chat box. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're good. We still got some time here. Okay. Does anybody have any examples or in their area? Like I know Karen Green's near where I am, Western Pennsylvania. And we were looking at a couple land deals. I never thought that they even see if they were in opportunity zones. Karen, I don't think the Mount Washington property would be, but possibly the land out by Monroeville, Murraysville, that could possibly qualify. I'm not sure. But that's just one example. I know Craig Leverett's got some transactions down in South Carolina, or potential transactions too that may qualify.
Right in my backyard.
Yep. Hey, Craig, if you actually, just for fun, Craig, can you type in the address of the gas station? So actually, it's a gas station, liquor store, restaurant. I mean,
That's one thing that you got to be careful of. It's funny is that definitely is probably going to run afoul as a sin business,
yeah,
because I mean, the lion's share of money that you make in a C store is cash and carry.
yeah,
And so what you would need to do is just own that directly from your QOF. So it's interesting is that they eliminated them as a QOZB, but if you own it directly in your QOF, there's no such limitation. It's kind of wacky. So there's definitely workarounds to it, and, be happy to explore that. But just something to think about, that C stores can be a little bit more difficult because you have to do a workaround because it is a sin business.
yeah. What's also amazing is they actually are selling liquor at the same place you fill up with gas. Just think about the connotation there. So,
And that's in South Carolina?
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've
Greenwood.
seen that, because you can have privately held liquor stores. It's funny is that I've run into more of those in Georgia. Actually, so I'm a big bourbon guy. I can kind of see my E.H. Taylor over here in the frame. And I was actually able to find E.H. Taylor at this crazy gas station liquor store in Georgia. All right, so
Okay.
North Carolina, yeah, Gene is talking about North Carolina having drive-through liquor stores. I've never been to a drive-through one in North Carolina. Maybe they have them out east, but North Carolina liquor stores are government controlled. I'd be surprised if the ABC stores actually had drive-throughs, but I have been to drive-through ones in Ohio, right? Nothing like and where they actually served like daiquiris. They served them like, there was like a drive-through daiquiri store.
Oh my gosh.
Fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
Rob just put
Outer
in
Banks. You said it was in Outer Banks. I could see that. Outer Banks is like a different country.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's search out that address. Somebody gave us an address, so we're gonna pop that up. 455.
And Gina, I think you were talking about, it's called Brew Through, and I've only heard about it from other people. I've never actually journeyed through Brew Through in the last year. So I'm just teasing. We used to go through there all the time as kids, but it was just beer.
All right. Now this, I got to pull this up, and I hate to laugh. I hate to laugh, Rob, but they gave me an address, right? And this is actually, dude, this is a law school exam question right here. Okay. And he gave me the address, and it's literally right on the border, right? And so what is interesting about this is that as long as it's only separated by either a street or a stream, you can actually have opportunity zone parcels that border non-opportunity zone parcels, so long as either the square footage or the value associated with the opportunity zone is greater than the stuff outside of the opportunity zone. So if you're able to get the contiguous parcel to that, Rob, and you're able to and I don't know if you're even thinking about buying it, but if you were able to buy the stuff next to it, then you could technically suck that into the opportunity zone. And so couldn't have crafted a better solution for or potential factual scenario than what he just threw out. So it says that a hospitality management agreement to run the business. This is owned by a church in a low-income area. So you could theoretically set up a qualified opportunity zone business to run that church. You would need an office in the opportunity zone. So if you had the office literally next door to that, then you'd be fine. So
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Gary, I do, unfortunately, I do have an 8 o'clock that
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, that, and so I've got to bust out of here, but, I've got some special offers for folks, and I thought that the site was going to be up, right? Because it's supposed to be ozpros.com/Gary. Let me see if I've got it at another one where we can get you the same. All right. Yes. So if you go to ozpros.com/podcast, then we've got discount calls for strategy calls. And then you can also, we've got like a discount deal on here relative to our OZ compliance bootcamp. So, our passion inside of OZ Pros was to democratize access to opportunity zones. When you do that, you create an enormous demand on your time, right? As you become successful at doing that. And so we've had to figure out kind of strategic ways for us to be able to interact with as many people as possible, but still maintain some level of sanity. And so we do that through strategy calls, right? So we've got a couple of different price points on strategy calls. If you want one specifically with me, you need a consulting call, and those are on the website as consulting calls. We've got our OZ Pros Compliance Bootcamp, which is an 1.5-hour call every Tuesday. It's kind of similar to this class where we literally go through rapid fire questions and go into scenarios and kind of help people process through, in real time decisions that they're making relative to their companies. And and then the final way is that we'll regularly have webinars and where we do intros, and then we have workshops too, which are usually like $49 or something like that, where we go over like a specific tool in the opportunity zone world. And so if you will send us an email, we'll make sure you get on the email distribution list. Or if you want that sheet that I was showing, so if you want to pick up the opportunity zone cheat sheet, which is that 1-page thing that's right here, this one right here, you can go to ozpros.com/cheat sheet and you can download that one. So it's the actual one is up here. And then final thing that we have is we have this thing called the Ozworks group, which is it's an online community. Think of it as like a virtual co-working space for all things opportunity zone. And inside of that, we have like literally hours of educational material in there, all things opportunity zone. So if you join the boot camp, we do that through the Ozworks group. We run that on Mighty Networks, and you get access to all of our educational courses inside of that.
Okay, so one big thought I'm having here, and I know we got to wrap this up, is we've got a lot of real estate agents on here who work with a lot of investors. Some are entry level, some are advanced commercial. If we could locate owners of properties in opportunity zones and encourage them to sell, would that be a really good thing to do right now in the marketplace?
Yeah, it would be fantastic, right? So it's a differentiator, right? Because as we're kind of, dealing with a rising interest rate environment, that kind of thing, these buyers are less concerned about that because they usually have a large amount of cash. And so finding good deals in opportunity zones is a crucial thing. Other thing is that it's a way for you to differentiate yourself, because if you've got some familiarity with it, you immediately put yourself to the top 1% of brokers worldwide. Because there's not a whole lot of people that understand that know this stuff. And we're here as a resource, and we've got lots of different kind of low cost resources with Ozworks group and that kind of thing to try and help people to really take advantage of this.
Okay.
All right.
Well, actually, I really appreciate you doing this. I know you're an extremely busy guy, and I think I speak for everybody when I say thank you. So everybody, if you wouldn't mind just tapping a type in the chat box, big thank you to Ashley, and then
absolutely, really appreciate it to everybody that participated, and would love to hear from everybody and to get on strategy calls and see you in the boot camp.
You got it, man. Hey, guys, we're gonna stay on if you guys want to stay on
Okay.
the call. And Ashley, have a wonderful night. Yep.
You
We'll
too.
see, we'll be in touch, you know.
All right. Cheers.
Okay. Thank you.
Howdy.
Okay. Hey, did you guys like that?
Cooking a little bit and
Yes.
Yeah. I tell you what, when you've got a website that actually tells you, you know, what the zones are. And so we could probably do some searching, like using ReallyFlow. By the way, show of hands, who here uses ReallyFlow at least somewhat regularly, whether it's residential or actually just commercial? Who uses it for commercial? Okay. All right, that's important because the renewal's up. And we obviously want to we'll renew it. I mean, you don't have to pay for it. You know, the GIA team pays for that, and it's several $1,000s just for the commercial part. So actually, if anybody that is on a commercial mastermind or you're doing commercial work, if you could text me and just say, hey, Gary, I'm using ReallyFlow commercial. I'm not, you know, it's not going to take many of you. If a handful of you are using it, we're going to keep it. But I need to do the polling there because we could deploy that thousands of dollars in a other opportunity if it's a better deal. But let me know if we should keep ReallyFlow commercial. If you guys could do that, that'd be awesome. But what I'm getting at here is you can use ReallyFlow commercial to search for properties like industrial space. So Craig Cannon's brewery is actually in an industrial space. You see what I'm saying? You can't search that on the residential side. You have to be on the commercial side, and we have that ability to do that. So what you could do is go to the map, opportunity zone map for wherever you are, grab the areas, grab the zip codes at a minimum, okay, where those areas are. Or better yet, you could literally just picture this on your computer screen. You've got the outlying, the perimeter of the opportunity zone, okay? Bring up another session, another browser session with ReallyFlow, right? Go to the same area and you can use the polygon, right, to draw the exact same perimeter in ReallyFlow that matches the opportunity zone mapping. Everybody with me on this? Okay. Now you've got all the properties in the opportunity zones. You got the owner's information, the property information, the owner's name, and the owner's actual mailing address on ReallyFlow for all the properties in opportunity zone. I didn't think this isn't like I didn't have this meeting tonight just for that one purpose. That came up in my mind as he was talking. I'm thinking, holy crap, this could really set us apart from the crowd. And I don't mean just the general agent population crowd, that's a given, but any agent that claims that they work with investors, you know, I probably would make a bet that the vast majority of them are not doing anything like this to get business. And, you know, as the market turns and more investors are trying to figure out what to do with their money, they want to deploy it. No investor wants their money sitting in the bank ever. That's just inflation's you're losing money plus taxes, you know. Something like this with these tax breaks, and to probably get good deals because there are opportunity zones or in you know, areas that need to be developed. So they're getting lower priced properties with the tax breaks. And you, Craig, sorry, Ashley didn't say this, guys, but when we did the interview, once the interview was stopped, we stayed on because we were talking about the results in some of the areas. And I don't know why we don't see these things on the news. I mean, I know why they wouldn't see it on news, because there's a lot of good stuff happening in the communities. You'd be really impressed to see some of the good things that are happening in these opportunity zones. I mean, literally lifting up entire neighborhoods. And it only happens when you apply resources to it. And this is one good way to do it. So, any case, I'm going to drink some water and let you guys ask questions. So actually I see 21 messages in a chat box. Let's see what we got here. Would love to do that. Good idea. Okay. By the way, for those of you in the commercial mastermind, the next meeting is a week from today, the 17th at 2 p.m. And you can go to the workplace page to get the registration link. Just click on more, then click on events and scroll down till you see it. Or just, emails, do a search on commercial in the subject line, and you'll see Beverly sent that out a couple weeks back. Let's see. Any case, and by the way, for those of you who are looking to invest yourselves, this was back in the late 90s. They didn't call it opportunity zone. They call it CRA, Community Reinvestment Act. And I was buying properties in several areas in CRA neighborhoods because there weren't any tax breaks, but there were 3% loans, basically underwritten from the government. And back in the late 90s, 3% was pretty good because the prevailing rate was like 9% residential, So, we would buy up, we would get together investors and each of us buy 1 or 2 or 3 properties. And really inexpensive. And they go in and remodel them all at the same time. And it would literally lift we called it project. I can't remember what we called it. In any case, we would go in and literally, turn a street. That's what we call it, Project Turn a Street. We would literally take a street and turn it around. It would take like a year, and not all the time, but there were situations where the county government, or if it's a local municipality, would come in and repave the sidewalks and put in streetlights. Man, you talk about a major difference in the neighborhood, and all the people that already lived there didn't cost them a dime. Their homes just went whoop and raised up in value, and amazing. So has anybody seen anything like that? Has anybody been involved with anything like that or remember that back in like the late 90s? CRA, Community Reinvestment Act. Okay, you guys are quiet tonight. Hey guys, I'm gonna wake up about 4 in the morning because I'm gonna catch an early flight and go to the conference tomorrow. I'll be gone all day Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I will be checking in, but there's not going to be any appointments or any coaching calls during those days. However, if there is anything urgent, obviously, please text me or you can email me, and I'll generally get those twice, maybe 3 times a day. But the texting, I'll check in between sessions. If it's something really urgent, if it's not, just set up a call, for next week when I get back. And if you haven't had a call in a while, please set that up, especially for the newer folks. But if you've gone through orientation and you haven't had a call yet, use that strategy call link. Let me grab it for you here. That's actually for podcast. Hang on 1 second. Definitely set up a call so we can get you off on the right track here. Let me grab that for you. And if you have questions, go ahead and unmute yourself while I'm doing this, guys. Or if Gina, if you have anything to share too, please feel free.
I can't think of anything and I'm staying muted because there's a baby back here. So that's why
Cool.
I've been super quiet. Yeah.
Well,
Congratulations, Gina.
Thank you. I didn't do anything but show up, but it's all cool.
Well, give everybody the 411, Gina. We want names, height, length, weights.
Atticus Jude and 8 pounds, 8 pounds even, 20 inches long, and 1 week and 1 day old now.
Oh, how fun.
And everybody thinks that their grandbabies are the cutest, but in my case, it's really true.
I love it. That's so awesome. Congrats. How fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, I
like the
do have
name.
a bunch of people on here that are on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the wealth determiners. That's what I'm thinking, the morning masterminds. If you want to check them out, I highly encourage you, try a Friday because the class is a little bit different, and see if that's something that interests you or works for you. The past few Fridays of our classes have been really, really good. Gotten in some good stuff.
Nice. Okay, I like the name Atticus too, So,
Yeah, after you told everybody it was like Ragnar or something.
yeah. Ragnar Lothbrok. That's anybody see the Vikings? The
Yeah.
series, yeah. Ragnar Lothbrok, he was most famous fight. And those characters are all real, by the way. In that
That's
series,
cool.
they're all real characters. So also Atticus, I thought it was not, didn't that exact match, but he's going to be a lawyer football player. That's what Atticus is going to be.
We'll go with
football
that.
player. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Arthur, the morning masterminds are 8:30 in the morning Eastern. So 5:30 for me out here Pacific. They typically go a half hour. after a half hour. If you want to jump off, jump off. Sometimes they go a little bit longer, and I almost always can do that if that, that conversation goes longer. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is just pure mastermind. Where are you in your business? And then what kind of challenges do you have? So I never know what's going to pop up. Friday is more of a, gosh, we could teach or train on anything, but it's more of a training.
The casual Friday.
It's casual Friday. It's exactly what it is, especially at 5:30 in the morning. It is a very casual Friday.
Pajama day.
No, be very careful. I didn't realize that I was attending and they were being posted on YouTube. So do not turn on your camera if you've just crawled out of bed and you have bedhead and you're a mess.
Yeah, but you got those
Or-
drive-through or delivery CBD stuff there, Lisa, so you'd be okay.
Oh, no, it's not just CBD, it's THC. It's, yeah,
real
it's
deal.
high powered on every corner. We have gas stations and cannabis stores on every corner.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like Starbucks now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Thanks, Melanie. Yeah. Yeah.
So would that be
Oregon's,
one of those sin things?
I
Would
don't know
that
if it's,
cannabis store be one of those sin things in the opportunity zone?
yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't
That's
know,
a
it
good
was
question.
deemed an essential thing during COVID. They were allowed to stay open along with the liquor stores, even though the grocery stores had to close, the little, and all the other stores had to close. So I thought that was really weird.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's priorities.
Yeah. Well, that last time I went through Oregon, they must have just passed the laws, Lisa. I remember, I think it was you're the one that told me this. Drove from south to north and back down again. And I was seeing cannabis stores everywhere. I mean, nice shopping centers down to the little corner shack with a tin roof. And actually one of them said Bob's Pot Store or something like that. It was like wooden siding and like a Appalachian mountain shack. And I think it was you told me at that point there were more cannabis stores than liquor stores in Oregon already.
Well, yeah, Oregon government controls our liquor stores, which I didn't realize when I moved here from Hawaii. I tried to go buy brandy at the grocery store. You can't. There's only 2 liquor stores in all of Grants Pass, for example, and they're strictly regulated, but not cannabis. It's open all the time, and they deliver to your house, and you can drive through. And the other day I was over at getting my tacos, and I noticed the bartender making drinks and putting them in plastic like
To-go
when
cups?
you would order soup. I didn't realize they're serving margaritas to go. I mean,
We have
how does the bartender, they would
margaritas to go in San Antonio.
That's
They do
crazy.
margaritas to go, but they won't give you a straw. And they usually will give you the liquor in a closed container and give you the margarita stuff in a glass.
Well, you all come down to Florida because you can buy it as long as you're within the city where I live.
Wow,
Yep.
Boy,
amazing.
the world sure has changed.
Yeah, it sure has.
Holy smokes. Okay, guys, coming up here, Mark Rickard is coming back to teach, but we had to move him from next Monday to the Monday after because next Monday has a hearing meeting, not like a court hearing, but as a city, like a zoning hearing meeting. He wants to go to and speak on behalf of apartment owners in Albuquerque. So he's going to teach on the 24th. So I'm going to be teaching next Monday, the 17th, and again on the 31st. And next Monday, what I wanted to teach was screening, interviewing regular owner occupant clients. We went over that for investors back probably a month or 2 ago. And I remember saying we need to go over this for more traditional clients soon. And I just never got around to it. So that's next Monday. And I believe I should be able to find my old buyer's checklist and things like that you literally use when you sit with somebody. And it's almost a slam dunk. You know where I got it from, Gina, was Anna Jenkins. She came
that's cool.
She came to teach from my market center in Pittsburgh, and they were blown away, So and I was like, and I wasn't even in production. I was already a teacher. I said, sign me up. I want that thing too, But in any case, that'll be next Monday. Mark Rickard will teach. The Mark Rickard guys is going to bring in Mark Ricker's going to bring us some actual examples of his investments and walk you through step by step what he did. So remember, was it last Monday, the Monday before, we went over the rental calculations. He's going to go into bigger, broader steps, like how did he identify the property? What offer did he make? How did he negotiate? What did he do to improve the property? How much did he raise the rents? Things like that that'll help give you a more complete picture. That'll be the 24th. And on the 31st, I kept open for open mic because we haven't done that. I don't even remember last time we had an open mic. It really, you guys tell me in advance what you want to go over.
I'm sorry, I'm just so tired today, I can hardly move.
But bring examples, things like that, of deals your clients are working on or clients you're struggling with, whatever it is. Because you got a lot of smart people on these calls here. That I'd like to call from time to time to provide some more insight, and people normally do it anyway. So for those of you who are guests, that applies to you too. This is a open class. We decided to do that a little over a year ago. Every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. The only time we don't have a class is if there's a major holiday, typically. Or a major hurricane. But in any case, keep that in mind. And but you please, I don't mind surprises, but it's better if I can prepare. So if you let me know in advance, that's the 31st. That would be great. November is all guests, and we got some good ones coming up. Beverly will be putting that out there probably next week, what the November schedule is. And we haven't worked on December yet. So in any case, if you like more people like Ashley, and if somebody that would bring value, please let me know, make an introduction. Generally, I like to interview them first for the podcast so I can get a feel for their delivery style and the content, and make sure they actually have content. There's a lot of people have something to sell, and I accept it. And you guys are used to it too. Doesn't mean you have to buy anything. Like what Ashley did tonight was taught and invite you to his website and things like that. That's all good. What's the title of the class on the 24th? So the 24th, I guess I would just call it, rental properties, unfolded or unboxed or unwrapped, if you want to call it that. Rental properties unwrapped. So he's going to come in with a couple examples, and it probably will be lucky to get through one, if maybe two, because I think we'll go into the detail and you see an actual property that someone bought. It'll generally trigger a lot more questions. Plus, he's a regular guy, just like one of us, So, sound good? And spread the word, guys. Make sure you're inviting people to the class. This is how you serve the community and also grow yourself. You don't grow on an island. You grow by being part of a bigger community and serving that community. That's just part of how business works. So, leverage this, use it for all it's worth, and help yourself grow. Sound
What's
good?
for dessert, Gary?
What's for dessert?
Yeah.
That is a good question, because there is hardly anything in this house. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll have to dig through the freezer and find something frozen, I guess. So I will tell you this, guys, I feel so bad too. I literally ate an entire pizza before class tonight. I haven't done that in years. So, but I did exercise today. I like George Foreman's philosophy. So, anything I want, as long as I exercise every day, I'll eat anything I want. George is a little bit bigger than I am, but I like his style. So,
hey, I'm in Vegas, and Mandalay's awesome. It has tons of restaurants.
Oh, I bet. Oh, guess where we're going, Lisa. So Wednesday night, who here? Lisa will be there. I'll be there. Kathy, Shastine.
Shastine's on the plane right now with Ashley.
Jenna
cool.
Hill's going to be there from Seattle.
Jenna, that's right. Jenna. Andrea Davis. Lisa Belcher is going to be there. She's married to Chad Ragland on our team. They just got married, and she's not on the team, but they just got married. And of course, we always include spouses. So she's going to be there because the first thing she did when she married Chad was make Chad stay home and work while she went to Vegas for the conference. So she's see how you women are that it's starting to all make sense now. No, just kidding. But in any case, she's going to come because she's interested in the team. I know Heather's coming. She's bringing her brother. Andrea's bringing her husband. Kathy is bringing her roommate. I think her name's Margaret.
Oh,
and she's
Gary?
interested. Yes.
I'm sorry. Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yeah, real quick. So
Did on just,
it's
oh, I'm
called,
sorry, you go.
it's called RIRA, RIRA, RIRA Pub at Mandalay Bay at 7 p.m. Wednesday. So gonna have Irish music, Irish food, and Irish beer. That's all the three necessities of life. So, okay.
I just was up there walking through everything. There's a huge shopping mall. There's a ton of restaurants. They've got healthy food. They've got affordable food, and they've got really pricey food, and they've got gluten-free
Oh,
for
yeah.
people who need that. They have everything, and it's clean, and it's just, I'm really impressed. I love this resort.
Good. Well, I'll be there tomorrow morning, 10:30.
Love it. Hey, do you know if Andre's found a place?
Oh, hey, yeah, guys. Andre just texted me right before dinner. He finally found a place up in
Okay,
Venice
good.
Beach, literally 10 minutes from Andrea Davis, her new real estate office. So thank goodness for that. And everybody, he was telling us, guys, I was calling him. I called him over the weekend and called him again, and told him to talk to Betty, because Betty does leasings, and he's everybody. Cindy Lukehart was calling him. Gina, you were calling him. So he really appreciated that, guys. He's not even technically on the team. He's above us in the upline, and he's really just overwhelmed, blown away by you guys being so supportive, and everybody, and particularly in Florida. And it's just an amazing. I mean, it's humbling for me, and I know I say this a lot, guys, but I can't tell you how fulfilling it is to be working with you. I mean, you what you bring to the table, not just in skill and talent, but your heart. The camaraderie, the engagement. This has been probably, this couldn't be any better. I mean, if my seventh business, everything has all been related. One thing led to another, and this by far blows away everything I've ever done in the past. So kudos to you guys. And by the way, it shows up on the scoreboard. The points you guys are putting up on the scoreboard are really impressive. I mean, better than
I have been getting a
yeah,
lot of
more than 2-1.
That's
You guys are outperforming the national
really
average
proud
agent
to
for
be
agent, more than 2-1. That's an amazing statistic. And on our team within EXP, we have twice as many icons on the team as we do in a general agent population EXP. So you guys give yourself a pat on the back. And I appreciate you supporting each other too. So Karen, set up a call. Karen Green, I don't know if you're still on. She might have logged off. So in case, oh, there you are.
I'm here.
Yeah. Did you get the strategy call link?
I did. Thank you.
Oh, you know what? I put it in the chat. Hey guys, check the chat box. I put it in there earlier. Let me put it in there again.
Yeah, I saw it. I got it.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
I know sometimes the chats roll by pretty fast here. So there it is again. For anybody that hasn't had one in a while, please go ahead and do that. Okay, can you guys think of anything else? Gina, anything else? Okay.
Hey, Gary,
Yes, sir.
this is Craig. One thing, you mentioned real eFlow commercial. We get
Yep.
that, we get to real eFlow commercial through the real eFlow site.
Yeah, when you click on, let me do a real quick screen share. I'll show you. I don't think I'm in there now. I mean, I could be. Nope. All right, let me go get logged in here. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Come on, computer. Here we go. So I'll show you exactly where to go. Yeah, there were some other Dustin Off wrote me a nice email the other day. So once you're in, guys, you click on lead pipes right here. Looks like lead pipes. It's actually lead pipes. And it's the third one down. It's the commercial leads. Okay. And I did a test on, I wanted to look for one of my old apartment buildings on here just to spot check it. And sure enough, it was there, had all the information. But you literally could type in. So like Craig, what's your county?
Greenwood.
Oh, that's right. Same name as the city, Greenwood County. We're going to search for, we'll leave that alone. Let's search for property types. Actually, let's do this. Let's see if you got anybody commercial property ownership that's behind on the property taxes. It's still loading. It might, nope, didn't like that. Sometimes it's based on your county's property data.
Yeah.
So if your county's data doesn't show it, the system's not going to find it. But we can search for something else. Here's my favorite one. Let's do long-term owner. I don't think it likes that one either. It's been a while since I've been there, but let me just look for property type. So let's do we got a lot of properties, we know that. Let's do retail. Because the garage, the gas station, restaurant, liquor store should be in here somewhere.
No, that one's in a different county. That was in
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There's why I
But
missed
it's
it
good
then.
to know because I have been doing searches just for residential.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So here's what did I search for? Oh, retail. So you can search for in fact, let's do this. Let's search for apartments. So you're not going to have as many out there. I actually got quite a bit. 1,317. So same thing. I mean, you just search them, grab the owner's name, Alan Fortner. He
Yeah.
lives in Waterloo. That's a pretty good sized building. I don't know how many units are in it, but in any case, scroll down, get all the information. Actually, that's post 1978, so that's good. See the taxes, see the actual amount versus the assessed amount, loan amount, and the deed history. So, but basically, essentially, you've got the guy's name and his address, his personal mailing address. So you could write him a letter referring to that property there.
Okay.
And that's literally what you do. If you go to the recording from August 22nd, so look for an email on August 23rd, the subject line, it'll say last night's webinar from Beverly. It gives you the recording of the class, Monday Night Live class, as well as other information we went over. But in there, we went over how you use the letter in great detail,
Okay.
you know where to get the letter.
Yeah, I
and
remember
everything.
that. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yep. That's
All right. Appreciate it.
you're very welcome. Okay, guys, anything else? Any other questions? Comments? Oh, hey, if you got an email about, it's like a survey on our website, we definitely want your input, because I just hired another web developer to start 2 weeks from today. And we're going to change the facade of the website to appeal to more people from the outside. But on the inside, where you guys are using it, we're trying to make it more user friendly. We did that 2 years ago. And it's just the sheer volume of content makes it difficult to simplify access. But we're specifically addressing it and putting some muscle behind it. So we really need your input. If you got an email from Beverly, she didn't send it to everybody, just maybe 15 people. If you could please respond, just give it 5 minutes. We really do want your input. I mean, we want to design it to suit your needs. This is the internal side, resources, the training programs, not what the general public sees. This is what you see. They're going to see the facade. Your guys are seeing the inside. You have access to it, and you have it, it's password protected. But we definitely need your input. Even if you did not get an email, if you could shoot me a personal email, just say, hey, Garrett, this would make the website easier, whatever it is. We're really serious about this. And I've had a number of one-on-ones with people that it's, and I get it, because there's so much there. They don't know where things are. So we really want to solve that. And we really could use your input, guys. I really appreciate it. So, okay. Okay, cool. Yep. And I'll give one more plug for the book. So who's already bought a book, the Global Investor Asia book on Amazon? Cool. Who wants to buy a book? Yay. I would buy it.
I have 10 of them.
Cool. That's right. Actually, so yep. Gil's got 10. So guys, get your book on Amazon and then leave a review. it's crazy because I never really promoted the prior books. It was all just about providing content. But this one, there's a lot more to it. In fact, we had 8 of our team members help write the book, and a couple of them are on the call right now, right? Gil and Lisa both were authors. Gina was an author. So we want to ask you to support the team, and more importantly, the book you buy, all the profit, all the proceeds go to the Healing House Foundation. So it's a win-win. And we really want to get the word out there. Everybody's in the book. We're driving people to the Global Investor Agent website that has the team roster so they can find you. Oh, by the way, they did not put the team roster directly in the book. And I asked for it, and it's a last minute thing, and just didn't pay attention to the emails, but I found out later on, they said, no, you can't do that because it's that specific information changes, people come and go. But the authors, the information is in there. The 8 authors are directly in there. All of yours, you're in there by name, but we drive them to the website, which is the proper way to do it. So you're essentially getting a bump from the book. And like I said, it's already outsold. I think we've already sold more than 100 from what I remember last week. I haven't checked it in a while, but it's really taken off. We're getting a lot of good feedback from some pretty important people. So you helping the team actually helps yourself. So I really appreciate you guys doing that. And the Healing House Foundation thanks you too. So, okay, I think that's actually it for now. You guys ready? Gonna have a good week. All right. Remember, the monthly team calls now next Wednesday because of the conference this week. Next month we'll be back to the normal second Wednesday. Oh, there's Eric's got it. There you go. All right, man. Thank you, sir. Leave a review, Eric. Make sure you go out there to Amazon, leave a review. Guys, this is actually really important. This sales and philanthropy aside, in order to get as much free publicity as possible, I'll just tell you, I've already spent over $5,000. So I don't mind spending money for something good, investing money, but we can get a lot of free publicity when you leave reviews. And if you haven't even bought a book, you can still leave a review. It doesn't count as much, but the timing is everything. In the shorter period of time that we sell books and get reviews, it's like Amazon just throws all this high octane on that fire, and it grows a lot more rapidly. So you can really help a lot by leaving a review as quickly as possible. That's I can't emphasize how much. Demi showed me the formula. I'm like, holy smokes, they really get you. But now that you understand it, we know what the rules are. So those reviews are critically important, guys. Okay, now for about the 4th time, I think I'm actually done. If there's no more question, guys, I'm going to take off here. Oh, what is the book called? So Karen, it's the Global Investor Agent. Let me type that in here. Let's see, everyone. Global Investor.
Gilbert put it on there.
Agent. What's that?
I said Gilbert put it on there.
Oh, thanks, Gil. Agent book and
Thank
okay.
you.
Thanks. And I'm trying to think of the where is the link? Oh, well, here I can just
Don't worry about it. We can find it on Amazon.
yeah, Global Investor Agent book. It's the only one out there. As soon as you type it in, it'll go right to it. And you can get a Kindle version or oh, there it is. Thanks, Gil. Kindle or paperback. The hardback we haven't done yet. I'm doing that next month for the NAR conference. I'm gonna take some hardback books there, but that'll be more expensive for you. Just get the paperback or the Kindle, whichever your preference is, and I'll leave that.
Gary,
review.
I was really impressed with the books when I opened up my cases. I got 2 cases of 5. When I pulled them out, I was impressed at how nicely they were done.
Yeah.
And I'm in the process of reading it now. It's like I want to read everybody else's stuff. I don't want to
I
read
know.
mine. I'm afraid to.
Well, you know, it's
But
amazing.
I'll leave a review here over the weekend.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I will tell you guys, what Lisa said is, I was reading my own stuff, and it's different when it's your own story. It's like, it doesn't seem that spectacular, but when you read other people's stories, so Lisa's in there, Gina, Gilbert, Kathy, Deborah, there's 8 of us all together, Andre, Melanie, Betty's in there. When you get that kind of insight into another person's life and what led them to where they are now, it really pulls you in. It's an amazing feeling. And I want you guys to experience that, what that feels like to read about your own teammates. And we're all over, and we cover the entire country. So I couldn't think of a better scenario, but a really, really heartwarming, fulfilling project. And we're going to do another one. This one has been 6 months, and we actually just started promoting it. We got a long, long ways to go. But I'm going to do another one, and the next one I'm going to actually give some of our marketing campaigns. Okay. And then we'll have more people contribute in writing their own chapters. I just can't tell you when that's going to be, because we got a lot of projects, and I'll tell you more on the team meeting next Wednesday, what we're doing. But we're redoing some of the infrastructure because we're getting a lot of demand for people to be on our team, and we're keeping it under control and in check, but we want to be able to accommodate them. And it's like, I always tell you this, when you're in abundance, you hit the gas, and that's what we're doing. And this book is unbelievable timing. So everything's in there. Everything, if you read the book, everything we're doing will actually make a lot more sense. It'll make sense why we're doing this the way we're doing it. Why are we focused on investors, and why do we spend so much time learning and studying terminology and methodology? It's because it pays off for you. You will set yourself apart from the crowd. No other better way to do it than what I've seen done here. So in any case, you guys have an awesome night. God bless you and your families. Have a good rest of the week. We'll see you on the one-on-ones starting again next week, and the next Monday night live call. I'll be doing that one myself personally, and team meeting on Wednesday next week too. Everybody good? All set? Okay.
Fun in Vegas, everybody.
Thank you. Yeah. Hey, Gil.
Thank you.
Hey, Gil, I saw your message. I land at 9:30 something. Yeah, I'm really right around the corner from the airport. I don't mind taking an Uber, but if you're in the area, how close are you? For some reason, you're unmuted, but nothing's coming through, Craig. Or Gil, I'm sorry, Gil. Oops.
Oh, yeah,
there you
I'm
are.
like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I can easily pick you up and give you a ride down there.
Okay. Well, I'm honored. So.
Well, I'm going to ask you to sign a couple copies of the book.
That's a good idea. Actually, I was thinking about that. I think both, if whatever the opportunity is there, me and whoever the other authors should also both sign. So Lisa, we should do the same kind of thing.
I'm going to bring them down to the Reraw pub on Wednesday at 7 so that I can get everybody to sign.
There you go. Well, join us for dinner.
I will.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. We're gonna have a good time. Hope you guys like Irish music. And Irish food and Irish beer.
You're gonna dance, Carrie?
I might. I've done it in Ireland, and you can't in Ireland when you go to the pubs, they pack them in. It's every night, everywhere. It's just crazy. I don't know how those people get along in life, but they do. And every pan's got a pint in it, and it's like one big happy family. So it's a lot of fun. Yep. You'll find out if you got any Irish in you, and then we'll just consider you do if you show up at Reraw Pub. So, okay, guys, have a wonderful night. And Gil, I'll give you a buzz. Should be landing there. I'm coming from Pittsburgh. I don't have the flight information written down here. It's Spirit Airlines.
Okay.
And from Pittsburgh, so it's supposed to land at like 9:30. And yeah, that sounds good.
I'll be down there. I'll give you a ride. See you tomorrow morning.
Sounds good. You guys have a good night.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.